All right, and we're live once again. Some unexpected things came up today, but I have to deal with them after the live show. So today's topic, more on Milsurp. Like I was saying before everyone got crazy and political, the way the economy is going, there's going to be a recession, I believe, very much so. And even with that, you see it everywhere. People cut back on their spending. Milsurp guns, I mean, they get crazy. Okay. Morning. They get crazy with prices. I myself, I had a couple things that the videos will be posted here shortly this week. I had a couple items. Well, I got the one item, the 1888 rifle. I purchased that at an auction. Like I said, I kind of got away from buying Milsurp because of the prices, and also what I'm going to make a video about is the auctions and the premiums and what you're charged. Okay, in the past, like say 5-8 years ago, whenever I bought something on an auction, it was the hammer price, no matter what it was, the auction house premium, which, depending on which one you're at, it was usually anywhere from 18%, and also depends how you pay. 18% if you send them cash, either a check or a bank transfer, and then they would take it up to 20 if you use a credit card. Okay. And then some of them, if you're going through proxy bid, because I like to go to the live bids, the live auction, actually sit through the auction and be able to bid during the live auction. That boosted it up to 22% for some auction houses, not all. But you weren't charged sales tax. See, this is another thing. Yes, I bought a gun from Brand Used Works once, so I'm familiar with that auction company. But yeah, they increase, and so what happens now is, like I said, it used to be if I bought something, okay, and years ago they didn't charge you that extra for using these services, okay. So you used to pay whatever the hammer was, whatever their premium was, usually 20%, say 18, 20, and they were lower. I remember when they were way lower. It was like 15 or something, if and then 17 was for the credit, and gradually over time it's gone up. But some of it is getting 22, 24%. Okay. So also, back before that, you were not charged sales tax. Okay. So now you're getting nailed sales tax. And what they do is they have a flat rate. Somebody sent me a message and was complaining about it, like on Gunbroker. Now, if you look at what sales tax is, okay, sales tax in my county is like 7.2% or something, maybe 3%. Okay. The next county over, it's 7.15 or something. Okay. And there's probably other counties where it's close to 7%, some rural areas. Well, online, you're charged, if you live in the state that I live in, 7.5%, no matter what. Okay. Your local sales taxes on the internet, North Carolina, it's 7.5%, irregardless of what the hell part of the state you live in. And this guy was complaining that, he tried contacting the gun broker and all this, and saying, hey, look, the percentage you charge me is not what my local sales tax is. And I mean, he said, I called him and I did it, but it's a set thing. Whoever set this or however they arrange that, that's the way it goes. And I even remember the local auctions. I used to go to these little tiny auctions out in the middle of nowhere, and they never charged you sales tax. And I forget what year it was. It's about 3-4 years ago. He goes, look, people, you've come to my auction house for a long time and all this other stuff. But starting, first of the year, he told us, next auction, you are going to be charged sales tax. It's as simple as that. He goes, I can't get out of it. They'll shut down my business and everything else. So, see, buying reloading supplies, that's another thing. I used to go buy reloading supplies, and I buy 500,000 bullets, 8-pound kegs of powder, all this other stuff. I put in an order from anywhere from minimum $300-400. Like when I buy black powder from it's a $350 order. It's the cheapest way to get it. Getting 1 pound or something, it ain't gonna happen. You're gonna be paying now you probably be paying $80 a pound. But I put in some orders, sometimes $800. Okay. And it'd be shipped from out of state, no sales tax, and I could make out, it was not a huge difference less, but it was in the long run, it adds up. That little bit of a difference, it was more economical to do it. Now it is not. Okay, A, shipping costs have gone up, and B, with sales tax, unless it's something I really can't get. Well, most of the stuff I order, I can't get. Nobody sells bulk bullets or anything. So anyway, I got my first auction and Milsurp purchase in years up, and I've been buying a lot of the stuff that's on sale because it's new. It's new, it's simple, it's not that expensive. It used to be what I'd pay for an old military rifle or something like that, a few $100s. They weren't big ticket items. But as you see with the one video there, it started off at 4 and then 400, and of course you start getting somebody that wants to bid against you. And the thing is, I found, you could say what you want, that people don't want to pay or the price is outrageous. It is. And I mean, I'm going to go out and shoot that thing here in a few months. So the weather's going to get cold again. I'm in the middle of a project trying to sort through a bunch of reloading supplies. Some guy dumped in my lap and needs me to help him sell, and bullets and that. And I was saying, hell, I'll buy them from him and load some ammo, but I haven't been around. But anyway, I'm going to load some rounds up. We're going to go out and shoot it and the 8890. If you remember the video where I got that weird oversized bullet and I said, oh, this is great, man. It won't chamber in because the throats for the black powder are wider. And whoever went to Accurate and had them make this bullet is oversized. So that 329, I get them up there because the grooves are deeper too. I think I get them to 334, the cast bullet. Then you're not going to get no leading. But I can get them damn bullets up into that chamber and into the throat. And I'll tell you one of my secrets. What I do with the big torpedo end is you take that Red Rooster bullet lube and dip it in, dip the tip of the bullet in there to lubricate it. Well, if you remember, I will, because the deal is I spend an awful lot of money, and people come up to me and want to know specifically what my load data is and all this other stuff, and never done me a favor in return. I mean, they actually demand that I give them the load data without ever making a contribution or anything. Or, some people do. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not everybody, but there's an awful lot of people that just tell me, and, I answer them a question, save them a ton of money. You can at least send me $5 or something, okay? Because just that bullet mold alone that I do with that, uh, you know, that was $180 item. I make the custom expanding plugs myself and that. And, the information's good. It won't kill you or kill yourself. And it's not this crap where I take a hacksaw and hack off some kind of cartridge and ram it up into a sizing die. And then, like one guy told me, uh, somebody told me once that I overcomplicate things when I make, I was talking about making custom expanding plugs for the different size bullets because, some of the cast bullets are 2-3 thousandths oversized in the standard plug. You can't get it in, you're not getting the correct throat or neck tension either. And when I said that, and the guy goes, "Why are you overthinking and overcomplicating things?" He said, "Just take a broken punch where there's a taper to the handle and stick it in the cartridge, whack it with a hammer, then the bullet will go down in there." I mean, and honestly, it just, when people tell me stupid stuff like that, it really aggravates the shit out of me. I go through to great lengths to do things correctly, safely, okay, and get it right to where, you're not going to end up blowing a gun up or any of that other stuff. Yeah, see what they did, how it all works. They made the first rifle, 1886, and it was the Vernal caliber, the 11 point whatever it is, they're 4 or 1.2 whatever, I can't remember, but that's what they were. And the only ones that kind of exist, I got one that was sent to Chile, and I got another one that doesn't have the export. I think it might have come out of South Africa or something. They were smuggled in there or some crap. But it doesn't have the export mark on the serial number. That's what I thought. But yeah, when the French went to the smokeless powder, everyone panicked and everybody was looking. I think Mauser made a 9mm. They made these 8174. The last contract that went somewhere to Turkey or Persia was a 9mm, and they said Mauser perfected the black powder cartridge with a bullet when he scaled it down to 9mm. And he said that was the perfect cartridge. He designed that. He thought it was great. Well, smokeless powder come out about the same time he did this. So everyone went into a panic. They started going to metal jacketed bullets, the Swiss did. It had or something, a lead bullet with a metal sheath on it with paper patched or some nonsense. But everyone was going to a smaller caliber bullet to get higher velocity. Well, it didn't quite work with black powder. The Austrians, that smokeless powder was top secret, like nuclear science, okay? So they designed an early cartridge. It's actually, I don't even know if it was 8x50. It was 8x53 or 8x54. It was actually a little bit longer. That's why that bullet gets up in there. That case was a couple mil longer, okay, to get enough black powder. Because them bullets really, even when you take apart an 8x50, that bullet only sits in there about a little more than 1/4 of an inch, and it's crimped in there, that torpedo bullet. Okay, vast majority of that bullet goes into the barrel. And they used the black powder. And that's why I think the throats are bigger, is because the case was longer. Okay. They used the black powder, and then somehow they designed some semi-smokeless powder. That's why on a 9mm Steyr, that cartridge is about the size of a 38 Super, but the gun runs on standard 9mm Luger pressures. And that's because the case was so long, it must have been that you had to use a lot of that semi-smokeless powder or something to get the gun to function. Yeah, well, see, I ran into that problem too. They had a service center in Greensboro, right at the, where the whole UPS center is. There was a counter, you can go in and mail shit. They threw me the hell out. I told them it was an antique gun. They told me the only way you can send a gun to somebody is you have to have your FFL on file, and they come to the store to pick it up. So, and in ammunition, you have to have a separate account to send live ammo with them. It's crazy. So I haven't sold a gun or tried, but I did, and that's another video coming up. I had to send a rifle back for repair. One of the sent me out. I sent back to Mark Lamar, and he told me no problem. I'm going to mail you a label. So he sent me a label, a UPS label. I went to the center and figure I'm going to get in an argument, have to call a manager, and the place has been shut down. It's closed. So they closed it. So I found out there was a drugstore in town that had a UPS counter. And I go in there with this freaking huge box, labels on there. I give it to the woman. She drags it there, scans it, does all the stuff, gives me a receipt, and off it went. And because by federal law, that's why this thing is BS, sending any type of a firearm in for repairs to the company. And once the company repairs it, they mail it right back to your house. Okay. So a lot of this is BS. The post office, because I use that stamps.com, and I'm supposed to agree to all that, what's in the package before I print the label. Last antique gun I sent, I just went to this one post office, so that he scanned it, and that was the end of the story. Okay, so I don't know. I haven't done one in a long time. This guy, he sent it through the post office. That's how it came. So I guess the post office, if they're not pricks, they let you go through with it. So yeah, it's become a pain. All right, the thing about the Kropatschek is, first of all, it does not use an 8mm bullet. And I've seen everybody load these with 8mm Mauser bullets, 234 or something. The groove diameter on that is 232, 233. So a cast bullet. And I tried making that custom giant mold, and it was 175. It works, and it's neat, and it feeds through there. But the thing is, at 100 yards, you got to put it on a 300-meter sight or something, so that bullet ain't. And I'm not horsing it. I'm not driving that damn thing fast. And like several people here, I don't know if it was Navy vet or the other fella, you just go and get the Lee 338 bullet. And I think the best thing to do, I don't like powder coating. To me, it's a pain in the ass. I like just pan lubing the bullets and sizing them. But if you powder coat them, because what you do is you take the 338 bullet and squeeze it down to 333, 334, you're going to just about take the lube grooves off the bullet, sizing it. And I step size. I don't do it in one shot. I go through, like, I got several dies I had custom made, and I size that bullet down in that. Then, if you powder coated it, I found that kind of works. I experimented with it. I had a bunch of these bullets sitting there, and I went and fired them. And if you do, because the way I do it, I have to coat them 3 times and heat them before I get a nice even coat around there. But it does make a big difference when you fire the gun and it with the dirt and stuff inside. So if you do that, that may be the way to go, because like maybe that here this time I knew it was you. And the other fellow, I talked to him too. That's USN 98 or something, or 80 something. He does a lot of, well, same stuff we do, same guns. Yeah, that probably work. And what I do is I just load it with green dot. I go take an old Lyman cast bullet load for the 8mm Mauser, green dot or something like 16 grains. And that flings the bullet out. I've fired them in the 88s, just to be on the safe side. I made a bunch of loads with cast bullets in the 88s, and they're fun to shoot, and it's not going to blow the gun up. So if you're worried about that alleviates that. Of course, you could always just take a standard Mauser bullet, 180 grain, and just load it to 30-40 Craig pressures, and you'd still be safe. I had a load like that I used to take to the gun shows with me. That's another way to go. Casting bullets with my bad hand, it's a nightmare for me to try to cast. Actually, the last casting sessions, I get my wife out there. I kind of taught her how to do it, and she does casting when I need. That's why cast bullets for me are starting to become a problem. But you can do it. The trickiest thing is forming the brass. I was lucky. Powder coat it, yeah. Yeah, you will. If you got an oversized bullet and that bore is smooth with no pits, you get the right load behind it. Okay, those guns are deadly accurate. And the only thing about it is I was lucky enough to get an RCBS case conversion kit. There are several of them. And that's what I do. I have to chamfer the rim, and I don't advise you to machine the damn bolt out where you take that thing out. Just chamfer the rim. You even do it, put it in a damn drill press and take a file, and it don't take much to do it. And how many are you gonna make? I think I made 40 or 50. Gonna shoot down there, no good. Then make another 40 or 50 of them. And it was just the way I'd set up a thing on a lathe, I'd chuck it in the lathe and just hit it, chamfer the back end as long as it don't rock, and away you go. And there's Giuseppe, buddy Giuseppe in Italy. He's CNC machines the cases. I mean, they look great. I've seen a video on him. Maybe I'll do something on it, and you can contact them. If somebody asked if he would sell it, because he was making thousands of cases there. And I don't know if you can get it from Italy or not. I don't know what the deal in Europe is. He made me some clips for, I think I have one here, for the Italian Vetterli rifles. I'll get them. I'll be back in a second. Yeah, there they are. Yeah, the guy called me up and said, "Hey, I'm making these chargers." He calls them chargers or something. He writes to me in Italian. I just take it and run it through a Google translator. But he made these things, and they do work. I was loading a gun with him with the string in that. Uh, he doesn't paint the little arrow on them or nothing, but he made these. But by the time I got these things, and paid him, got them sent here and everything else, he told me he'd make me his distributor here in the U.S. By the time I got them, they're like $40, and it'd be hard for me to sell them, and make a few dollars, charge people like $50 or something. They ain't gonna pay it, you know. To do the conversion of the brass, you know. The hospital took a friend in. Well, you guys pulling a Sunnyvale and stealing a lawnmower and somebody got shot. Uh, yeah, see that's the problem with some of the CH4D die sets. I found one I tried using an oversized bullet and they won't fit. It's like on the 6.5s. I was trying to load a larger diameter bullet um, for some sort of 6.5. So other than, I think it was that weird Uruguayan gun, the JJ2 or whatever. I tried putting a Carcano sized bullet in there because them grooves are deep in that. The grooves in the rifling are very deep, and it wouldn't work. You'd have to machine it out, and I kind of didn't want to get involved. You've seen the stripper clips, but they're talking the original ones. They want like 80, 90, $100 or something. And people said you can use these with the Dutch gun. No, you cannot. They don't work in the Dutch uh, rifle, but they work. I love shooting those Italian Beverleys. Okay, the 80, 87s or whatever. I can't even remember all the numbers anymore. But yeah, he was selling them, but it wasn't quite cheap, but it was well made. He said he had trouble selling them over there in Europe. Uh, kind of what he was asking for him, but that's the last. I haven't spoke to him in a while. When things got kind of intense here, I put out a video, and like I said, people were just annoying the hell out of me. I had a bunch of issues going on, and all these emails, people just would demand stuff. And I said, look, I'm not going to answer these emails. Either your questions or people like wanted Carcano cast bullets, and those bullets are a pain to do. Okay, and they were telling me, well, I'll buy 1,000 of them or something. I said, I don't have a machine sitting here cranking these damn bullets out all day long. For me to do 1,000, lube them, size them, processing them, it's an awful lot of work, and kind of I physically can't do it anymore. She's got a hernia. Rod, what were you doing to this woman? Got a hernia. Well, I hope, putting all the joking aside, I hope your friend, that can be painful and serious complications. I know several people that had trouble with hernias of one sort or the other, and they can be very problematic. Matter of fact, I went back to work, and there was a fella. He had to go in for some sort of a hernia operation, and he did it he scheduled it before the 2-week Christmas shutdown of the factory. And he went in there, he had the operation done, he went home, and like 2 days, something broke there, and he was bleeding internally, and they rushed him back to the hospital. And that was third week in December and he's not back to work yet. Okay, so yeah, it can be pretty serious uh, problem. I hope it works out for your friend. Yes, they do. But when you're going, see, jacketed bullets, they're a tad bit undersized, are fine. The 6.5 Dutch, I just used the Hornet A torpedo bullet. That's 264, no problem. When you put a 264 in there and them groove diameters are a bit deeper, when you use a cast bullet, you're going to get blow by and it starts leading the barrel up. Because the barrels, if you ever go down with a bore scope, a real good one, and look at it, all of them old military rifle barrels got weird stuff or just rust or something in there. Okay, after 80, 90 years, okay, they're not clean and they will start leading up. That's why I have a tendency, I like making the bullets 2000s, bigger than the groove diameter. 1000s on a modern gun like a revolver. If you size your cast bullets for a 38 other than 357 to 358, or even better 359, your leading problems will stop. Okay, unless you push the bullet too fast. You know, a jacketed bullet, you're supposed to have a thousandths or so room for it to, because when it hits, that jacket's gonna expand a little. And also, the blow by doesn't affect the jacketed bullet. Okay, where depending on the quality of your lead, it will. So a lot of these older guns, it's always good to go with a larger bullet. But I always tell people sometimes you can do it, sometimes you can't. What'll happen is if the bullet goes too far and the chamber's too tight, you could end up with a pressure problem because the brass ain't expanding. Okay, you can have a real serious pressure spike. So it's a tricky thing to do. And again, you know, that's the way it is. Let's look. Sales. Well, how much does he charge? Let's look. Firearms. Yes, I am. Here we go. Rifles to do Mosin and Gott for 1,009. Yow. Hey, look. Czech rifles. I'm not seeing it. Ah, here we go. Yeah, at 1,400. Well, I guess I could have bought one at a gun show for $700 or $750. Of course, that was many years ago, 10 maybe. And I knew the guy. He owned a gun shop with his personal gun. They were going for $750. And now, last one I seen, a friend of mine, a guy I knew had one, and it was in really, really nice shape. And he was asking $1,200 for it. Okay. The only thing I don't like about old Western Scrounge is they overcharge you on ship bad, real bad. Hey, how's it going, 314? Yeah, see, you're getting like me. Yeah, how much time do I got left? You know, what am I going to do with my money? I might as well get some of these things, try them out. But, you know, bolt action guns, I mean, they're easy to reload. You can get the brass from PPU with the right head stamp on it. You just get that 30 caliber, was a 139 grain bullet, and you use any one of the IMR powders, and them things are accurate as hell and fun to shoot. You know, they're not they're not that bad. They're a nice gun to load. I've shot thousands of rounds of the Syrian corrosive Syrian ammo when I had a whole bunch of them, and I used to shoot that stuff all day long. One case, no problem. Another case, about out of every box, I got one or two duds with a bad primer. You know, that was, but yeah, it was fun. Kid, nothing. You're right. Nothing's cheap. $40 ain't bad, but I mean, I got burned. The hell with it. There's a thing from this last auction. I went out on it too. What they grab me for shipping here? $60 for a rifle from the auction house. And I think the guy that I bought that gun from on Gun Broker, it was 50, $60, something like that. Some of them charge $70, $80. That's why you got to watch them auctions. You know, you're bidding on something and the guy's got $80 shipping on there, or 60. You know, it's screwed up because I gave up on I know some people do business with them, but oh, what the hell is that place? Give me a minute. I'm getting old. I start forgetting shit. Gotta go down here in January. You know, right on the tip of my tongue, it always happens to me when I oh, it's the one place everybody complains of. I'll find it. But in cleaning your Bulgarian Makarov, those are kind of funny. Atlantic Firearms has a bunch of them. It kind of went up. Somebody else may be more attuned to them because I have one. I bought it years ago for like $200 or something, and it's in mint condition. I love it. Where is it? Pistols. Handguns, handguns. Surplus pistols. Atlantic Firearms has them, and these are singles, so they're kind of beat up. They're like 364, 369, depending on how, you know, in crappy grade, they're under 4. Some places will ask 4, 4.5. You know, I forget. But yeah, they go. Some of them go up to $500, $450, $500. I don't know. What the hell is that? Okay, we got old Western Scrounge. Let's look up this. Oh, that's what it finally came to me when I was thinking about the guy. Hunter's Lodge. Okay. I gave up fooling around with Hunter's Lodge. It's kind of somewhat like Royal Tiger. Okay. really, for what I'm paying. And then once, probably later this week, I'll make a video. I'll show you the rifle. Remember, I showed you guys a couple weeks ago the certificate for that rifle I got from Hunter's Lodge, and that was 88.90. They said it was an 88 because somebody else was complaining. He ordered one too at the same time. This other guy did a video, and they sent him a 95 as an antique to his house. They sent him totally the wrong gun. Okay, and you guys want to know. Okay, Bulgarian Makarovs. Current bid 455, 425, 500, 475, 475, 450. Not exactly. Let me do a search, and I will get you the finished auctions. This is something we can do. Completed items, and we'll search, and then I'll get you the what it sold for. Okay, completed items. All right, these are all completed, so I got the right 475, depending on the condition. One with a spare set of grips, 2 mags, and a cleaning rod went for 555. But 450, 475 seems to be the average price right now. There's one with a threaded barrel, and went for 485. There's one matching mags and a holster, went for 700. But 470, well, I would determine that as 4.5 is a fair price, because that's what people have been paying. And that's what the gun broke when I did the search of what sold. Yeah, it's like I just tried nicely. Calling them don't work. Some guy has an answering thing. Oh, it's me. That's who you reached. Leave a message on the phone, nothing. Email, I did get a response. I said, this is what I'm interested in, and I was interested in something that wasn't listed. I said, what's the price on it, and what would it cost to send, for me to have 3 items sent to me, 3 rifles. And he gave me a price to my FFL, but he never got back to me. I sent several emails. I said, hey, I want to order this other stuff. It's not listed there. What is the price? Never got back to me. So I said, you know what? I really, and it's like, what's his name there? Readiness Review. He orders this stuff and he waits 3 months. Okay. And then he starts harassing them towards the end of 3 months or something. And, I ain't got time for that. Yeah, years ago, that's about, like I said, 2. I said 2. I believe it was slightly under 200. It depends how long ago you bought it. I mean, they were not expensive. All of those guns, the Polish guns, the Tokarevs and that, they were not high dollar weapons. When they came in, especially when they bring them in by the thousands, you see the places they got a container, a box just full of friggin' pistols or something. There's 150 of them in there or something. That's what I was thinking, the same thing too. And there is a guy on YouTube that bought it, bought one, but one person, and then you're sending them 300 and some odd dollars, and it's going to just show up one day. I mean, but there's several channels out there, and there's several people that buy all kinds of stuff from all the time. Okay, and they have a lot of things. I guess he must eventually communicate with these people or something, some degree. He's buying a lot of pistols that need work, need parts. He bought several of them and some other stuff from him, which this it's not on their one page friggin' ad. Uh, and so he must have some sort of rapport or communication with these people in order to order this stuff. And that one guy, he does a lot of business with them. If you're into I call it's not really repairing, it's resurrecting weapons. Okay. I mean, this stuff is, and that's not easy to do anymore. It's taken me. I bought guns that had something missing, a bolt missing, or something major, and I mean, it took me years, and cost a ton of money because whenever somebody sells it, there's other people looking for it, and then even like on a gun broker, a bolt for something, it just starts getting run up real high, and because somebody asked me how many. Or how hard would it be to find a bolt for a rifle? I guess he bought a rifle, a bolt in it. I said impossible. And then you're gonna get, you probably pay more just for the bolt to fit in there than you did for the gun without the bolt. Okay, unless you paid a little bit ridiculously too much for it. October of 2022. Well, they're going for about 400 or 500 here. See, I guess up in Canada, you don't have that many people that are probably buying the pistols. I know your import laws are different. You still get stuff from China. We can't get nothing from China. Okay. And I know some of the stuff does go up to Canada. And I also noticed in a lot of auctions, prices on guns are a lot less than down here, because I don't know what kind of a hassle you guys got to go through to purchase any type of firearm anymore. I guess Rappin' Rodney was telling me he made a deal where he sold something and made enough money to buy something else. So I'm not quite sure, but yeah, about 450 is what they're going for now. Yeah, resurrecting. Yeah, that's about what it is. It isn't a restoration. Yeah. No, so that ain't bad. You got it for under two, man. That's a bargain. I mean, they did. I remember when they came in all them years ago. They were in a box, just like they issue them from the factory, a cardboard box, and that gun was mint. I love the one I got. I paid. I think I say two, but I paid less than that. Probably $180 or something. And I love shooting that gun. And I kind of kicked myself. There was a bunch of the Russian ones that came in that had adjustable sights. And they were civilian. They were civilian made. They weren't military ones. They were in 380, and one had a double stack mag. I remember that, and I should have picked up a few of them. Those go for quite a bit of money now when you do find them. There wasn't a lot of them around. And see, then again, it's not a military issue gun. It's kind of like the CZ82 and the CZ83. Okay, the 83 is somewhat of a commercial police one, and some of the 82s were converted, because I seen one that has a civilian scroll on the slide, but it has a military stamp on the frame. So that was something else they did also. They reworked them. And I see a lot of these Bulgarian ones come in that have been reworked. That weird one I had with the satin nickel finish, when you pull it apart, you can see where it was blued. It's like they took this thing and revamped it and refinished it and that. And that's the weird one. Had a little bulge in the barrel, and then I got that from the Mosin crate. They're calling them some kind of Spetsnaz Sea Commando pistol or Russian Navy something. And I don't know. Yeah, but a lot of them are rehashed military guns, and they pretty them up. Oh, well, I no problem here. I just loaded up a ton of Mac. And I was wondering where my cases were because I got 1,000 of them from Starline. I reloaded them all. I know I sold some of it, and I'm looking. I found the ammo from the last run that I reloaded. I got a ton of it. So I'm set as far as 9mm Makarov's concerned. But yeah, it's tough to find, and it's pricey now. The days of getting, a box of, it was non-corrosive, just surplus ammo or something. Ammunition was dirt cheap. I forget. I think I bought a case of it. It was Wolf ammo. I think the full case they wanted less than $100 for at the time. It was a very long time ago. That's how long ago I bought that pistol. And I bought a case of Wolf, and I think the guy sold 100 rounds out of it, so he lowered the price. He deducted the 2 boxes and sold me the whole case. But I used to get all kinds of ammo, very reasonable. Shoot the hell out of them. And that's the thing. After you got the stuff for over 20 years, you got to go shoot it up. I bought every box I've seen. Yeah, the Chinese ammo is good. Last thing I just did with my 82 was I had some stuff out of Czechoslovakia, Celer and Belot or whatever, however you pronounce it. And I had a box. See that Red Army standard when they were selling that, you had to watch it because some of it was brass case ammo with the Red Army standard Elite. Okay, if you bought the cartridges, they were Boxer Prime reloadable and non-corrosive. I don't know where they were made. They were made Yugoslavia, Serbia, whatever. But some, and then I seen some boxes and I picked them up and they were kind of cheap. I said, oh, okay. I grabbed them they were steel cased ammo made somewhere, And then I was digging around. I found these Red Army Standard Elite, and it was ammo made in Poland. Now, the last batch, Makarov that come in, there's a factory up in the eastern side of Poland I never heard of. I'm not familiar with it because all my family lives either in the west or down. We originally came from the southern part down by Krakow and that. So when I was there, I didn't go up into the eastern part of the country. But I guess there was some sort of armory or munitions works there, made that stuff, and that was the stuff they were selling, but it was still corrosive and bared and primed, So I don't know. Okay, that's that one gentleman there. Yeah, I watched his video. I don't know. I might try it. I have no idea. What do I got to lose? It's crazy ass stuff. All right, like I told you when you sent me a message this past couple weeks, I've been busier than hell. And this coming week, I'm going to be busy. Got a lot going on. I don't stay bored. That's the thing. But yeah, I remember you told me that when you sent that message. You made out on that deal. I just was in an auction yesterday. Okay, was out of Virginia, and this is a weird one. This wasn't like the live ones. It's what they call a timed auction. So what they do is they put whole list of stuff up on proxy bed, and then it's there for a while, and it says bidding will start. And so I'm wondering, is this one the auction? And they call it a simulcast or something. And what they do is 2 weeks before they do the simulcast, then you can start bidding. So before that, you can look at it. But the way they do it, even with the photographs, you can't enlarge them and actually look at what the hell the stuff is. That's the one thing I didn't like about it. So the 2 weeks goes by, and then at noon on Saturday, they start simulcast, and every 2 minutes they close two auctions. Boom, 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 down. And you can bid right up to the last minute. And if you bid within the last 2 minutes, it extends the auction another 2 minutes. Timed auction, I guess. There was about 4 British rifles. One of them was a #1 Mark whatever, I think made prior to World War One. So it's got the date on the wrist. It said it had a nice bore and all this other stuff. And I seen that. So I said, let me see how this works. So it was about 15 minutes, and it was at 300 some dollars, 310 or something. So I bid 320 and immediately, okay, you're outbid. All right. And I said, all right. I watched that thing. It went from that 300, it was going, like a minute, 2 minutes, 400, 500, 600. I think it ended up selling somewhere around $800. And when I explained to you what I bought for $600 and when I ended up paying, this person ended up paying probably well over $1,000 for that piece. It's pretty wild. Huh? That's a good question. Oh, I got a Tannel kit. I just put it on a standard receiver. I didn't put the second side thing or get one of the receivers they made for the Tannel that was done years later. They weren't available, so. Yeah, $30 a box. Well, that's Canadian, so that's probably less than American money. Yeah, that's another thing. If people don't buy it, they ain't gonna have it. That's what I tell people. Oh, I don't like the price. Well, then they stop making it altogether. And you're like out in the cold, as they say. Out there. Oh, wow. But yep, ain't nothing cheap no more. So yeah, if you're involved in this hobby, I mean, two something for a Mac, a Bulgarian Makarov, that ain't a bad price, but the hell, Rod got 1,500 for a #4. And I seen #1 go, or #2, whatever that World War I version is. I can't remember the marks and everything. That thing went high. And the #4s and a couple others they went to, they all went for 400 something, close to $500. Um, so yeah, you can say what you want, but you know, I see the things sell. You know, I myself, I really wanted this one gun, and I went out there and I got it. Don't like the idea, but like I said, hopefully I can turn it around at some point, get my money out of it. But and I don't understand why certain guns are so popular. See, it's another thing. It's like when I make a video, I can make a video about an interesting old rare gun, and most of the ones that I do, like probably with this 88, let me look. This is what I got on it now. 730 ain't bad. That's a little bit better. I think the title draws in, it catches something and draws in. But if I just put, just the title of the thing, Austrian M88 rifle, I only get my standard 300-400 hits, like, in a week or two or a month. Over time it will go up. People get interested in them or they're bored. But I just checked today. All I did with them foolish handguns is that little Roscoe revolver. Okay, just a little $300 gun or something I bought. Nothing special about it. It's just, and a lot of people point out it's the older design from Brazil. I think whatever Taurus made prior to the something 85 or whatever, the newer version of it. It's the older version of the gun. It was made years ago, back in the 60s and 70s. And I put that thing out there, okay? And I just gave my opinion. I liked the gun, and I made a 10,000 views within a week. Okay, if every video I had did that, life would be really cool, but it's not. And I have no idea why. I talk about a pretty inexpensive, simple firearm, but yet I get a volume of views that's amazing, you know. So I haven't figured it out how to be successful on this YouTube thing to where I get a silver plaque to hang, with 100,000 subscribers or something. I'm a tad bit away from that. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I just, started off doing it for fun. That's why, I do it. I thought there were more people doing it. Or they just do the monkey show, pull it out, wave it around, shoot it, end of story. So I guess maybe that's why it is. It's just somebody ain't. I thought for sure several people reviewed it, or they just look at it and talk about it for 3 minutes. I don't know, because that's another thing. A lot of these reviews too, when people are getting paid to do them, they're not. I've seen some weird stuff that they don't even mention. Okay, in the video, and you don't know how much of it's staged. And I think I criticized the gun once. I criticized this gun. It was a Taurus or something. It just, when I said this, if you're the type person, if this was going to annoy you and you don't want to try to fix it or get extra parts, a lot of people complain that the gun should work without having to buy secondary stuff or change things or change the power of the spring to get it to keep from light striking and that. But see, it's a double-edged sword, because these gun People watch these videos. I've been contacted by a couple of them. They watch the video. And what they do is everybody does this weird shit with the damn trigger pull and reset and that. And in a striker fired gun, the only way to make it really nice is to weaken the power of the spring. And you get a nice pull and all this other stuff. But on the other hand, when they make the gun to where this is a selling point, okay, they also create a problem. That's when you're going to get the light strikes. And they don't make a damn spring that's more powerful. And Wolf doesn't make a spring that's the right size, but a couple more pounds or something. And I think what I had to do is shove a damn Glock spring in there, which is too long. And in my pistol, it worked. And when I did that, several other people come back to me and said they tried to do the same thing, and it doesn't work. It got bound up or something, and it doesn't work. So, that's the thing about it. Yeah. But anyway, like I did a thing about a Taurus pistol. I like them. I have several of them. I shoot them all the time, and actually I carry a GX4. Okay, so I have no issues with them. But I did say something negative, and this one guy put a comment in there. He goes, "Don't do that. Don't say things like that." And I said, why? It's just telling you what happened. He goes, then I can't sell these guns to people, with some store owner. And I have no idea who the hell he was or not, but he just seen my video and he goes, I guess he finds a video that's favorable and he recommends people, or maybe he plays them in the shop on a laptop or something when people ask questions about the gun as a form of advertisement. Okay. And I was, I have no idea who this person was, but he did complain to me, don't be doing it. I can't sell these guns. Oh, well, that's not my problem. Dependence. Yeah, but that's going to change. Another thing, when I was talking about last week, there's going to be some rough times with the economy coming here. Okay, I don't want to get into politics, right? It's inevitable. With everything going on, things are tough now. We've been in a recession since sometime last year. Okay. And in order to get out, whatever the powers that be are going to do in that, there's going to be some upheaval, and a lot of stuff. So you may see a bunch of collectible stuff start coming out onto the market. But on the other hand, let's say someone like me, say, okay, I'm unsure, I need some money. So look at the collection. Okay, what do I have lying around here that's kind of worth something, but I haven't used and probably won't shoot anytime soon, or duplicates of some things that I have. So now the crunch is on, but then when I go and put the stuff out in an auction, you may find that me and a whole bunch of other people in the same boat I'm in is trying to do this. And then you're going to flood the market. And then with the economic hardship, you're not going to have people with spending power to buy. And this is where you're going to see prices start to go down. And it's could happen. That's what I was trying to express last week. Okay. And it's inevitable. I've seen it happen before, like 2008 with the big recession, M1 Garants. Everybody wants an M1 Garant. Okay. They used to be X amount of dollars, and you never, when you went to the gun show, you rarely seen any of them in the dealer's racks or out on the table. Well, in the middle of the recession, I went to a gun show. There were off a lot of these ammo because it's like a hedge against inflation. You sell the gun, you know. And I remember one dealer, he had like 5 of them in a rack, you know. Then as the economy gets better, they all, and the price goes up, you know. And kind of a thing people don't realize, it's not really your price is going up, it's your money's worth less, is what the thing is. It's like when you go buy gas, or everyone's bitching the price of eggs or whatever, you know. The sad thing is you realize it's not. Prices go up, it's your money's worthless. Yeah, you do. I mean, it's not that hard. And I mean, the 8x56 is one of them. I remember I had them guns when I was a teenager. I bought a bunch of them. I had long rifles, I had carbines, all that stuff. I never could find any ammo at all. Okay. And back before the internet and computers, you didn't search, there were no online auctions. Nobody had it. Nobody made it. There was no new ammo being made at the time. Now, with PPU, it is not a difficult cartridge to reload. Like I said, you throw a good IMR powder in there. I forget what I use. Oh, if it's not 4198, I think it's 4890 or 4198, I think. I developed a load, and I had to kind of wildcat it, but I come up with something that isn't horrible. That military ammo, man, when you fire that stuff, oof, that stuff's pretty powerful. But I come up with a nice load that's accurate, and yeah, you got to know what you're doing, and you can't take reloading uh, casually, should I say. You can't be serious, because there's a guy on one of the forums, I ain't gonna say anything. He had a damn Swedish Mauser that the damn gun blew up, and it was a defective, and again, sporterized gun, had a scope on or something, and the thing blew up. And so all these experts chime in, this, that, did this happen, did that happen, everything else, and whatever. Well, IMR powders, there is one, like 48.95 and 41.98 or something. The color of the label is pretty similar. And he just went and grabbed the color powder can that was, which he thought and didn't read, double check or make sure, and he put the wrong powder in a gun, just about almost killed himself. So, yes, especially, and you'll save yourself money. I mean, that's if people try to make stuff. You're better off, especially a lot of older ones, is buy the expensive Bertram brass and get a set of dies. And it's expensive, but it saves you a lot of headaches, and it's easier to reload, and you can enjoy the gun. Because I tried making Verndel brass and everything, and after two, the thing is, you can make it. You could sell it to somebody, and they can fire it once or twice, and then you'll find out the way it is, because the cartridge, you're cutting back, the brass is very thick, and after 2 or 3 shootings, you can't chamber the round unless you go and turn the neck, okay, or run it up in a die, and the other way of doing it is reaming out the brass to get the correct neck tension. So yeah, sometimes that ain't fun. And yes, that ammunition, I don't know if that's how it was loaded. All of the stuff I ever fired that was original was the stuff that came in from 32 or 38 or something, or all that, and it had the Nazi head stamp on it. That stuff is hot. I don't know if that's how they made it, or that stuff, as the chemicals break down, that's why any munitions or ordnance, the military keeps it for 20 years, then either destroys it or gives it away, I guess. Because even I knew a guy that worked in aviation, and his job was he'd have to sit there and take these 500-pound bombs and cut the casings, lay it in half on a sawhorse, and he had a way he would light, just with a match, just whatever the plastic explosive in there is. He'd light that and just let it burn. It burns like, C4. If you light a match, C4, it just starts burning. Okay, that's what his job was in the military, in the aviation department. Is he'd just sit there and take the old ordnance and dispose of it. Okay, um, so yeah, I don't know. And like I said, some of that stuff I bought in the 80s, I got some 8mm that came with the Hakeems and that. That was pretty damn good stuff. I think it was made in Egypt or Syria or something. And it works. It worked good. I never had a bad primer or nothing in them. And it was corrosive, so you had to make sure you clean the gun, but it was fairly accurate and decent ammo. Now, after all these years, I took it out. Actually, I got some. That's what I'm going to have to do is go out and try to shoot it up just to get rid of it. I tried selling some, and people were reluctant to buy it because they said that, oh, I bought some of this and half of it didn't go off. And then some guy comes up and goes, oh, I got a drum at the house with so many thousands of rounds. And that's another thing. You're taking old ammo, and even, this stuff was stored inside the house, temperature controlled, in an airtight uh, ammo can. It just breaks down over time, and then it's worthless. That's just the way it goes. I've never been to a store. I bought a lot of stuff from them, but I've never driven to the store. I know they got one in the southern part of the state. I haven't been to it. Maybe so, weak with age, but I don't know. Just don't want to risk it. Yeah, cartridge collecting was pretty good. When people come up to me, and I remember these guys I had a stripper clip of old German ammo. I remember I bought a bunch of it in high school. I had a couple of them. And I don't know what the hell. The guy goes, I'll take the clip. I said, well, give me $10. And he looks at me like, I ain't selling it to you for $2. You want this stuff? You ain't never going to find it. So much for the cartridge collectors. For like one round, the guy had a list of all these different cartridges. I don't have one 458 Rigby or whatever, Yeah, and that's what I believe's wrong with my ammo. The primers are not going off. Of course, I had some of that German ammo that was oozing corrosive stuff from the primer pocket and around the base of the bullet. That stuff still went off. You loaded it into a gun, fired it, it'd still go off. Okay, goes to show you. Well, all right, guys. The wife has tasked me. I have to go out on special operations and pick up something from the local hardware store. So I got to get going. The day is nice too. It's going to be the last one we have for another cold spell, and I'll be trapped indoors again. But it's been fun, gentlemen. I'll see you guys all next week. But I'm going to get going. I got some things I got to take care of. So until next week, take it easy.